Overnight, a Russian drone strike tore through a residential district, reportedly striking homes, an educational facility and power lines. 4 people lost their lives. The attack underscores a brutal reality. Even as diplomats in Geneva claim meaningful progress, citizens in Ukraine remain trapped in the crossfire. That night's strike was among a renewed wave of Russian attacks across Ukrainian territory. Despite ongoing diplomatic efforts, the violence continued, underscoring the urgency behind talks intended to end the war. Even as negotiators debate peace terms, the war's civilian toll grows. In recent days, and despite repeated warnings from Kyiv, Russian drones and missiles have escalated assaults on civilian areas and infrastructure. The human cost mounts even as the war's end is being negotiated on foreign soil. Meanwhile, the reins of diplomacy are in motion. In Geneva, representatives of the United States and Ukraine reportedly hammered out a refined peace framework, revising a controversial 28-point proposal that had drawn sharp criticism. According to a joint US-Ukraine statement, the latest discussions yielded highly productive consultations, aligning positions and sketching out clear next steps toward a tentative agreement. In Kyiv, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy offered cautious optimism, but made clear that essential issues remain unresolved. Speaking publicly, he stressed that although some sensitive topics remain on the table, the world must not pretend that aggression can be ignored. He said plainly, "Of course, we all continue working with partners, especially the United States, and look for compromises that strengthen but not weaken us." He added, "We will continue explaining how dangerous it is to pretend that aggression is something one can simply overlook and move on." He emphasized that in negotiations coordinated with Washington, Kyiv has managed to preserve critical demands, including the full release of all Ukrainian prisoners of war under the all-for-all formula and civilians, and the complete return of Ukrainian children abducted by Russia. He acknowledged that these are important steps, but warned, "These are important steps, but to achieve real peace, more is needed." Behind closed doors in Geneva, the mood was described as cautiously hopeful. On one side, US officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, joined Ukrainian negotiators, and according to sources familiar with the talks, an updated peace framework was drafted. On the other side, critics of the original plan, including some in Congress and European capitals, continued to question whether the concessions proposed truly safeguarded Ukraine's sovereignty. The previous 28-point draft had raised alarm by asking Kyiv to give up parts of its eastern region and to cap portions of its military, key demands long associated with Moscow's war aims.